Are you tired of sounding so plain and dull that nobody really cares about you every time you perform like this guy? We need to step your shoe game up. How? By getting the LD Miguel's. Yes, that's right. They on sale for $50, originally for $200. With these shoes on, you'll become a huge sensation. So you'll go from being this plain old unknown guy to being more well known and vibrant like this guy. See how the color just changed like that? That's because he's now more popular, more well-known, rocking the LD Miguel's. Plus, that's not all he can do for this guy. Because when he rocking the shoes, he'll do something nobody will ever forget. Cop the LD Miguel's. With these shoes on, you'll be dropping lead drops on all night. Warning, dropping lead drops on girls all night will result in a lawsuit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the YouTube citizens, y'all know what this is. This is Modern Warfare 3 time right here. This is the new Jay Gatsby, aka Dash the Tru Inferno. Back at it, and yes, we got a sponsor. So with that said, cop them LD Miguel so you can drop lead drops on these girls all night. So yes, let's get straight into it because there's a lot I gotta cover and not a lot of time to cover it all. So with that said, let's get straight into it. First and foremost, I want to talk about next week's schedule. As we all know, E3 is next week, starting from Tuesday, June 11th up to the 13th, with Sony PlayStation 4 announcement supposed to be going on June 10th in the UK. Or actually, it'll be June 11th in the UK, but June 10th here in the US. So I'm going to cover all of that. So what's going to happen is this. Next Wednesday, it would be Trademark's video, Path to Destiny. And that Saturday, June 15th, it would be my Call of Duty video. Hopefully it'll be Black Ops 2, because I ran out of gameplay. So, and that's right for the switcher. I'll let y'all know in advance. So, you know, I'm probably going to cover half of E3 at the next Trademark's video next Wednesday. Since we're going against a weak opponent, we should blow by them. But, you know, I just want to let y'all know about the schedule nice and early. Now, the second thing I want to get out the way before the main topic is the NBA playoffs. We are now into the NBA Finals. The Heat needed 7 games to knock off the Pacers, which they did last night. Meanwhile, the Spurs only needed 4 as they swept the Grizzlies, which I did not expect. I didn't expect the Pacers to force a 7. But my finals prediction came true from ever since OKC got eliminated by the Grizzlies. And I want to give y'all my prediction. It's a tough one because I want the Spurs to win because it's been a minute since they won, and this Spurs team remind me of the old 04, 05, 06 Pistons squad, who really concern themselves about defense and not much on big time superstardom stuff like that. But I can't go against my early pick, and that's the Miami Heat. I think the Heat will win the championship, repeat as champions in 7 games, but however, I will be rooting for the San Antonio Spurs, so don't get it twisted. Alright, enough about that. Now it's time to get to the main topic, the WTF stories. Yes, I'm bringing it back. There's 2 of them, so I want to get through both of them real quick. So the first WTF story takes place in Atlanta, Georgia this past fall. And we was down there for my boy's bachelor party. Now, what happened was, it was a Friday. Yeah, it was a Friday. So, we first got to Atlanta, and then we hung out all day with these 2 random chicks that we never met before. We just met them at the hotel, whatever. And it was like 6 of us guys, and it was like 3 guys per room, or whatever. So, we back at the hotel, we kicking it, and, you know, we doing our thing, drinking, or whatever. And 2 guys that we know from Atlanta, Georgia. So now there's 8 of us. 8 of us guys, and the 2 girls are still up here. However, one of my boys and my other boy cousin had the 2 girls to themselves in the second hotel room, whereas everybody else were in the other hotel room, which was my room or whatever. So we talking. So here's what's going on with the 2 guys with the chicks. My boy and this one chick, they was in the shower doing their thing or whatever. But here's where things get funny. Earlier today, when we first arrived at our hotel rooms to check them out, whatever, cause we was on the second floor by the balcony, whatever. We had the end balconies, whatever. Our next door, the room next door to both of our rooms, there was an abandoned room. The door was wide open. It was dark. Nobody was in there. Nobody using it. The cleaning crew, rather, wasn't using it at all. But it was just open. It been like that for the whole day. So now we kick it back up to speed. So here's what happened here. Like I said, my boy had this one chick in the shower, while my other boy's cousin had this one chick in one of the beds. But the problem was, she was on her period. So what happened was, you just see blood on this. Again, I didn't see any of this, obviously, because I was in the other room. We were just telling this hilarious stories or whatever. But this is what I was told. So anywho, there was some blood on the sheets. So the cousin went next door to the abandoned room and stole some white towels and some sheets and switched them out. Trying to clean that stain up. It was hilarious. But while that was going on in their room, here's what was going on in my room. So one of my boys was telling a story about, because we were just telling stories about sex or whatever. We were just talking about sex or whatever. And what happened was, one of my boys was telling this story about what he did to his girl. So they went to the bar one night. So this is the story. So they went to the bar one night and they were drinking and doing their thing. Then they went back to their house or whatever. And my boy wanted some, but his girl was like, no, I'm too tired. I just want to go sleep and blah, blah, blah. So this dude said he grabbed some lube, and I forgot where he applied the lube on. I'm not sure if it was his finger or his you-know-what. I think it was his finger. I'm going to say it was his finger. And he stick his finger with lube all in place deep inside her carcass. And when he said that, we died. Like, we just straight up died laughing. Of all the stories that I had ever been told, I had never laughed like that. Like, my stomach cramped up. I couldn't breathe. Like, I really couldn't breathe. It was that funny. And what made it funnier was, he would sit there with a straight look on his face. It wasn't like a face where he got mad or upset because everybody was laughing. He was just so focused and telling the story. So that had me rolling even more. But no, the story don't end there. So the next morning, back to the story. So the next morning, his girl wakes up and she constantly taking a dump all day. Taking a dump. And she was like, dude, I don't know why I keep taking this dump all day. I've been crapping all day and stuff like that. So then this fool just straight up, and we laughing. Again, we just cracking up laughing. And then this fool just flat out told her, well, maybe that's because, I put some lube on my finger and just stick it up your butt. And then he actually told her that, and she went ballistic on him. It was hilarious. Like I said, I had never laughed so hard in my life. It was that hilarious. I couldn't believe it. But the second WTF story was this. And this one was recent. So this one was really recent. So one of my boys, were having a barbecue at his house. So it was like a bunch of us was over. The same guy who told the story about the lube with the finger and his girl's carcass, he was there. He brought his girl with him. So here's what happened. So I don't know how this happened, but we were just talking about having sex with women while they were on their periods. I don't know how this came up. I was just sitting there saying nothing, because the majority of the guys there was like, "Oh, that's so gross," and blah blah blah. Where my boy, the one who told that story, was like, "Man, what y'all talking about? It's just blood. It's no big deal or whatever." So while the conversation was going on, his girl went inside. So everybody would start to come around like, yeah, we would do that as far as, having sex with a girl around on her period or whatever. So then my boy was like, yeah, exactly. And then here's where it gets funny. He looked towards his right to see if his girl was still outside. And he had his hands up like he just wanted to check and make sure or something. So he was like, yeah, exactly. But matter of fact, and then he looked to his right to see his girl was still outside or not, and of course she went inside the house. So he was like, matter of fact, I got a story for you. When he said matter of fact, I instantly died laughing. I'm like, he about to tell a story. And he was like, matter of fact, this happened last night. It wasn't like, oh, it happened 2 years ago, or it happened 6. No, he said last night. He told his story about last night, about how he was apparently getting on with his girl while she was on her period rather. And he was like, man, it looked like a crime scene in this bed. It was funny. It was hilarious. And the thing about my boy is, like, when he tell his stories, he's so detailed with it, and he's so like serious about telling the story. Like, he wants to get the story out the way. So it doesn't matter if everybody laughing. He just wants to get the story out the way. Matter of fact, about my boy, there was this one time. This happened a couple months ago. We was at my boy's house. This was before he moved to his new place where he had the barbecue or whatever. I forgot what we was talking about. Oh, we was just talking about condoms. Like, you know, do you use condoms or not or whatever. And my boy, again, he's so detailed. He was like, man, I don't like using condoms. I hate using condoms and blah, blah, blah. You know, 'cause them things are hard to put on. And by the time you get that stupid thing on, my nuts are already soft. And he said that we was like, oh, like we just like, oh, and just got up and left the room, all of us except for him. And I was just too busy cracking up, man. He was just sitting there with his hands up like, what? Oh, man. As you can see, the game ended a while ago, but I had to tell these stories, man. Once again, our new sponsor are the LD Miguels. This is Gene Ryan II. I got big plans for y'all the upcoming days. Peace out.
Man, it's like one day I'm over here taking pictures on my phone to post on Instagram, right? And then my life just flipped, just changed, all in the snap of a finger, man. It's so crazy. My life is getting crazy and I just can't seem to get it right. I think it's going down and my life is getting crazy and I just can't seem to get it right.